So often when the NFL playoffs start, if your team is out of it, if your team is eliminated, much like my team is this year, if your team's not in it, a lot of times fans will adopt a team for the playoffs to root for. Makes it a little more fun to watch. And normally I don't do that. Normally I just enjoy the games for what they are. I enjoy playoff football if my team's not in it. I just watch the games to see what happens, and that's good enough for me. But this year, I believe I'm going to adopt the Detroit Lions. I believe I'm going to adopt the Lions. And let me tell you why. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, we all love a story of a team going from the bottom of the league to the top. A team who's been down and down and down and down that has now risen to the forefront of the league. And that's the Detroit Lions, right? I mean, I watched the Lions go 0-16 the 2008 season. I watched, moments like when Aaron Rodgers threw the Hail Mary for the touchdown on the last play of the game in Detroit. And I watched that in an Applebee's, of all things. Like, so many moments that were just heartbreakers for the Detroit Lions and their fans. And, it was like they were one of those teams. I think even my Titans might venture over into this category of just like, that team's never going to do it, right? That team's never going to do anything. It's like the only time they're going to win or even get close to a Super Bowl is if it's on Madden, the video game, right? And so, of course, for me being a Titans fan and for, maybe if you're a fan of a team like the Titans this year, you see hope when you look at the Detroit Lions. You see a team that once was at the bottom that is now at the top, arguably the best team in the league. I mean, I do power rankings every week on my podcast, and they've been number one most weeks. So they're a beacon of hope, I think. But more than that, when you look at the Detroit Lions and what they've been through with their fans and all of the tough seasons they've had, I have discovered the Detroit Lions fans are some of the nicest, coolest people that I have encountered on here, on YouTube, and among NFL fan bases. They are the nicest, coolest people. The Titans played the Lions this season. I guess you could say they played them. They were on the same field as the Lions on a particular Sunday. And I covered that game just like I covered all the other games the Titans played. And in the lead up, I did a video previewing that game, looking at the NFL's preview of that game. And you can go back and you can watch that video. Go read the comment section. It was just a bunch of Lions fans, for the most part, just being really cool. You know what I'm saying? Just being really nice and being like, hey, dude, I know how it feels to be where you are. I know how it feels for your team to be so bad. Hang in there. If we can turn it around, anybody can turn it around. And it was just like, even though the Titans were awful, particularly in that game, I think they lost like 52-14 or something. Like, I walked away feeling like, you know what? Yeah. If the Lions can do it, anybody can do it. And I found them to just be a really cool fan base, a really nice fan base, even after the game when the Lions destroyed the Titans. And these Lions fans had every right to jump into my comment section and just let me have it, right? They should have come into my comment section and been like, you suck, your team sucks. But they were still really cool. And they were like, hey, I've been there. I've been right where you are. I know how it feels. Hang in there. It's going to turn around. You guys are going to get it figured out. Just hang on. And it was like, okay. When the playoffs roll around, I remember saying then, I was like, when the playoffs roll around, I'm going to root for the Lions to just win the whole dang thing. I'm going to root for the Lions to win the whole thing. And preseason, the Lions were my pick to win the Super Bowl, but it wasn't like something I was rooting for. It was just making my predictions based on what I thought was going to happen. But I have decided, with my Titans obviously way out of the playoff race, I am adopting the Detroit Lions for these NFL playoffs. I'm going to root for the Lions because they've been at the bottom. Their fans have suffered. Their fans have watched heartbreaking moment after heartbreaking moment. They deserve this, okay? They deserve it. They deserve this moment. And more so than that, fan base is really cool, really good people. I encounter a lot of fan bases that are not, that are not cool, not nice people who just want to make life miserable for everybody else, but not Detroit Lions fans, at least not the ones I've encountered. So that's why I'm rooting for the Lions in the playoffs. When you look at Dan Campbell, you remember when he got hired? The Lions were not good his first year as head coach. Everybody laughed at the Lions for having Dan Campbell as their coach. They ain't laughing now. All right. I remember when Jared Goff in the trade, I remember what I thought. I was like, oh, poor Jared Goff. He's just going to go there and be a bridge guy for them for a year, maybe two, and then they'll draft somebody. And look at here. And then you watch Stafford go win the Super Bowl with the Rams a couple of years ago. It's like, all right, the Lions got the short end of the stick on that trade. Well, nope. Nope, the Lions are just fine. Incredible roster. I'm mad that they got Amon-Ra St. Brown because the Titans could have had Amon-Ra St. Brown if our GM hadn't traded up and taken, dang it, what's his name from Louisville? I don't remember the guy's name that we traded up and took instead of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just what Des Fitzpatrick. That was his name. Des Fitzpatrick is who the Titans traded up to take. Well, they could have got Amon-Ra St. Brown, but that's not the Lions' fault that the Titans did something stupid. Khalif Raymond, former Tennessee Titan, is on the Lions. So, I mean, he had a big play for the Titans in a playoff game back in 2019. So, easy to root for him. Jared Goff's an easy guy to root for. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I like... Oh, man, what's the tight end's name? What's the tight end's name for Detroit? My mind's going blank. But I'm a big fan of him. So, yeah, I think I'm going for the Lions in these playoffs. I sure ain't going for the Ravens, the Eagles, the Texans. Are you kidding me? The Chiefs, give me a break. Come on. Three-peat, please no. Bills are aight. Commanders are aight. Rams would be pretty boring. So, yeah. I'm behind Detroit because their fan base is cool and they deserve this. They've earned this just like the Titans have earned for our team to get good like that, hopefully sooner rather than later. But for me, I'm riding with Detroit in these playoffs. I think they're going to have a tough test with Washington this weekend, but I'm for the Lions, baby. Give me Detroit.